7 Chase Racing, and today we are at the Lowe's Motor Speedway for this running of the Bank of America 500. I actually kind of forgot about how long Bank of America has been sponsoring the second Charlotte race. It's hard to believe it's been almost 20 years now, but needless to say, important stuff coming into the race. We got to hold on to this points lead and obviously hopefully win the championship, as Dave Blaney finished in 5th in the Coca-Cola 600 earlier this season, but only led 7 laps, so it's going to be interesting to see exactly what we're going to have for qualifying and then into the race here today. I've not qualified yet. I think I'm going to keep the setup pretty much where it's at. Might be a little risky dropping the downforce. I'll drop the downforce for qualifying, but then I got to remember to put the downforce back into it for the race. It looks like we might be a little bit on the free side of things, but we'll see what we can do. Be sure to hit the like button as always. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Just over a 100-point lead coming into this race. We have won the first 4 races of the chase. 2 fuel mileage wins. Might have stole the victory away at Talladega yesterday with the fuel mileage win. Ran out of gas literally in 3 and 4 in the final lap. At one point we had a 42-second lead and ended up winning by about 10. Garrett is here, 32. Thanks for tuning in. Greetings as well. Overdrove the entry into turn 3 there. Don't want to hit the apron here at Charlotte. Qualifying, we got to go for broke. We're going to need the best starting position possible because we're probably not going to have race-winning speed. And I'll probably be faster in qualifying than in the race because I'm going to have to add downforce. Just to keep this car playing into the track more in the longer runs. Still kind of washing up the track a little bit in 3 and 4. Not as bad as the warm-up lap, though. 1 and 2 is really good. It's definitely free off the exit of turn 4. 19th on lap 1. We're going to need a big pickup here. And I messed up in 1 already. Pushing so hard, trying to get all I can. Yeah, it's very light off the exit of the corners. It's going to be a worse lap, I would imagine, here on lap 2. Because turns 1 and 2 was near perfect on lap 1. I messed up in 3 and 4. I was better in 3 and 4 this time, but not by as bad as I was down on the other end of the track. 19th still, so mid-pack it is. Put that downforce back into it here before I forget. Boom. All right. Probably going to drop the air pressure a little bit, too, just to be safe. Drop it 3 pounds. Really trying to tighten this bad boy up. Beamer66, thanks for tuning in. Happy holidays to you as well. Excited for the new NASCAR 25 game? Me, too. It'll be here before we know it. Just as next NASCAR season will hopefully be here before we know it as well. Get back to the live commentary streams. Green flag in the air. We're underway. Spun my tires on the start there. That's why I kind of clipped the grass with the left sides. Lost 3 positions on the end of the front stretch to Casey Kane, Robbie Gordon, and J.J. Yaley. But Jeff Gordon on the pole. So looking to get those 5 bonus points here right out of the gate. Can Dave Blaney go 5 for 5 to start the chase? It's been a miracle run so far this postseason. Get 2 fuel mileage wins. Wild one at Dega yesterday, 9 cautions. 7 of which in the first 60 laps. A lot of great racing in the middle portion. But that weird set of cautions that we ended up having right at the edge of that final pit window definitely made things very interesting for a different reason than what Talladega would usually bring. Pass on Truex for position. A move to the inside of the 180 of Hines. Good. Try to get by him into turn 1 here. Mark Martin is now out in front. I do believe Gordon led at least the first lap. Mark Martin was the leader of lap 2. So Gordon did get his 5 bonus points at the very least. Just got to be patient. It's maybe a little too patient there. I was underneath Casey Kane. I kind of let him back down to the bottom. Right in front of us. Kane blocking back and forth on Blaney on the front stretch. Blaney tries to hold the one of Truex behind him after he had passed him. Get right back to where he started at 19. Dale Jr. to the front of the field now. He's still in contention for the title very much as well. Top 5 in points for Earnhardt after a top 5 yesterday at Talladega. I believe he finished 4th. Mayfield got a little loose off turn 4 himself there. Casey Kane lifted and allows for Blaney to get underneath the 9 car. Try to take advantage and make this pass down into turn 1. Slides clear. And now underneath Dale Jarrett, who has struggled in the chase. Jarrett, the only driver of the 10 chasers that has not gotten a top 10 finish yet through the first 4 races. Scott Riggs, Robbie Gordon, we should be well quicker than these two. Had decent qualifying efforts, all things considered. Fastest lap of the race for Blaney of the first 5 that he just ran that last lap as he made a couple passes to get to 14. Again, I only led 7 laps out of 400 in the Coke 600 earlier this season. Although this is a long race, 500 miles, it is shorter than the spring event that we had earlier in the year. I think our streak of at least leading the most laps in a race is definitely going to end here. At the very least. I'd be shocked if I lead the most laps. If I lead more than 7 like I did earlier this season, I think that's a win as it is. Staying pretty tight behind the 19 of Jeremy Mayfield. Getting by Jeff Green underneath Michael Waltrip. 149 car. Fantasy driver on the outside. Try to get underneath him as he closes that gap, getting into the corner. A clip of the apron. Entering turn 1. Really backed up to the 66 there. He got into the right rear corner panel of our car. And now I blocked him off going down into turn 3. He hit me the first time, and then I chopped him off the second time. Right back to 14th. Still trying to settle in here in the opening laps. Jared got loose at the same time I got tight. Made a little contact with him too. Kurt Busch is leading. Obviously no non-chaser has won yet this year in the chase. That's simply because Dave Blaney has won every race and he happens to be in the chase. Next race is at Martinsville, which we did win earlier in the season, and that is definitely a track that is very good for me in this game. So I'd like to think we can have a solid run there, lead a bunch of laps. Casey Kane clear of Blaney. Blaney right back down in front of Dale Jarrett in the 88. Well, free getting into turn 1. I did what I could to really try to tighten this thing back up again. It's not as loose as it was in qualifying. It looks tight because it is a bit tight on corner entry, but honestly, I'm going to have to drive it like this because if I try to free it up, it's free on the exit of the corners still. It will probably continue to get more and more free as the tires wear. Pass on Casey Kane made. Get back into 14th again. I'd like to think we're quicker than this 149 car up here. Barely going to stay in front of Kane off the exit of turn 4 yet again. Just got to hope for anybody but Gordon. Start leading laps. Jeff already has his 5 bonus points, so, you know, it is what it is there. Try to hope that he doesn't get 10, and our focus is just to try to get the best finish we can today. Pretty evenly lap over lap, staying right at that 2.5 second off the lead area from Kurt Busch. So we are at least running similar lap times to that of the leader. Considering how many cars after 15 laps are still within 2.5 seconds of him, though, I feel like most of the top half of the field are running similar lap times. They are catching Jeff Green and Michael Waltrip, who are side by side all the way down the front stretch and most of the way through turns 1 and 2 that last time. Wade, thanks for tuning in. Turn 1. Trying to wrap the bottom of the racetrack on that white line, entering the corner. Did so successfully enough to make the pass on Michael Waltrip for 13th. Jeff Green making a pass on Jeremy Mayfield for 11th, or at least still trying to. Blaney just ran his fastest lap that last time. A little contact between Green and the 149. As well as Blaney and Mayfield there also. That'll run. Maybe able to follow this 66 car into 11th, and we did just that. And we're going to get underneath the 66 on corner exit also. Low contact. It was a close call. Still got to take care of these tires. NASCAR dude and Michael Turner, thanks for tuning in. Hope I had a great Christmas. Hopefully you did too. You did have a good Christmas. Side by side with Kyle Busch in the 5 for a brief moment off turn 4. Couldn't stay there all the way down into turn 1. We've been battling around cars this entire 20 laps so far. Jeff Green back to the bottom of the racetrack. Underneath the 22 of Dave Blaney. Blaney going to hold on for now. Stays clear of him again. Kyle Busch is definitely a tough passer right now. He's holding everybody up. Everybody that's behind him. Jeff Green almost slipping to the outside of Dave Blaney. And to the front stretch. Oh. Wall scrape might cost us a spot. And that one didn't help either. Jeff Green's going to get by. Well, it's held on into the run this far. Jeff Gordon, I would imagine, still up there in the top 5 at the very least. Not sure of exactly what position he's in. Jeff Green going to try to open the bottom up, and actually Gordon's falling back in the ninth spot. Contact there off turn 4. Got into Jeff Green's back bumper. He got up into Bush. Bush hit the wall. I'm still trying to hang on to it. Be careful. Oh, I was trying to stay down on the apron entering the corner, but I couldn't stay down there. I checked up a ton. Waltrip pounded it right into the back bumper of this race car. He had nowhere to go. He was still at pace, obviously. I just need to get to this pit stop so we can break the field apart. Back to the inside of Waltrip again. Waltrip's front bumpers bashed in quite a bit too. Wonder if he loses that hood at all. Not affecting his straightaway speed any, I can tell you that much. Landon Auguster, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we legitimately parked it in victory lane. We ran out of gas. Parked it straight into the infield. Right as we crossed the start-finish line. Got the wall off turn 4, lost another spot now to the 149 car. Lap 29 in this race. Now, we are still net up 5 positions. The good news is Jeff Gordon was falling behind there right off the rip. And at the time we were in 11th, he appeared to have been in 9th. So he's not that many positions ahead of us right now. But this could really open the door up for some of those other drivers in the top 5 to really try to gain on the championship battle a little more if both the 22 and 24 finish outside the top 10. It'll help us for the short term. And we'll have to see how that long term will either pay off for us or pay off for them to continue to try to chip away. It is a struggle for Blaney on the speed side of things here in this one. Make a pass to get back to 13th on the 149 car through turns 1 and 2. Waltrip to the inside of Kyle Busch. Blaney goes wide into turns 3 and 4 there. 149 car gets underneath him. And then he's going to clear us right back. I'm trying to hold off Dale Jarrett behind us. Pass the 149 car back yet again. Dale Jarrett might get around him as well, and does off turn 4. Now 4.8 seconds off the leader, who is again Kurt Busch in the Blue Deuce. Busch could finish as high as 11th in the point standing still, as he of course missed the chase. Oh, and speaking of chase, one driver in the chase is out, Ryan Newman. So Newman has just blown a motor. He was running in front of us. That'll move Blaney now up to 12th place. And that is, of course, one of Kurt Busch's teammates. That Penske, in fact, his only teammate. It was just a 2-car organization at this time. 2006. 34 laps in. Haven't hit halfway out of gas yet. I'm going to make an adjustment when we get to pit road, but I think I'm only going to adjust the wedge. Or sorry, not the wedge, the air pressure. Just make a slight air pressure adjustment. Key emphasis is to try to repair as much of this right rear corner panel as I can before we get to this stop. We're going to be able to go almost 70 laps. We'll stay out of the pits as long as we can. Maybe we could get a lap let in that way. Get some bonus points. And at least match Gordon with 5. So we're going to be racing tomorrow, noon Eastern at Martinsville, and then Sunday at noon Eastern at Atlanta for the next 2 races of the chase following tonight's race. Four 500-mile races in the span of 5 races, and then a 500-lapper at Martinsville in that stretch of the 5 as the only non-500-mile race. There's a lot of long races here in the meaty portion of the chase. This time period, NASCAR's bread and butter. Had a lot of them. Finish off with one of the shorter races of the year at Phoenix, and then follow with a 400-miler at Homestead to end the season. Clip the apron. Give up a spot to Dale Jarrett. He was all over me for a while. Back to 13th again. There could be a little damage to the right front also, which may be affecting the balance of the car even more now as well. You can definitely tell the handling's going away compared to what it was on fresh tires. Without a doubt, I can tell a difference there. I just completely flatlined 3 and 4 there. Got to get back to just hitting my marks. Because otherwise this whole slew of cars behind me is going to catch up and we're really going to be in trouble. I'd like for them not to catch up. Car's still shoving. Turns 1 and 2, it's not as bad as 3 and 4. caution free through the first 45 laps here this evening. Really trying to use more brakes getting into the corner, try to get it to stick to the bottom of the track. I've settled in enough that the guys behind me aren't gaining on me as quickly as they were. Greg Biffle probably will. He just made a pass on Mayfield. Or Case Kane, excuse me. I guess the other Dodge car. Red and white car is Kane. Red and black is Mayfield. Yeah, Biffle made the pass. He's going to probably get around us here pretty quickly. Well, we've outlasted one chaser. Ryan Newman blew an engine in the early laps. I did well through 1 and 2 that time. I could short pit, try to gain time that way. Caution comes out, we'll be 1 lap down. But nobody else is a lap down, so if I were to short pit a run, I think this first run would be the one to do it on. It's all depending on when exactly I want to pull the trigger on that. Biffle lurking. Trying to make a pass for 13th on Dave Blaney. Kurt Busch appears to have pulled away from pretty much everybody else that was running behind him from earlier. Up the exit of turn 4, Biffle looking to the inside. Big block by Blaney on the front stretch to hang on in front of him. Sailing it off into turns 1 and 2. Going to stay in front of the 16 for yet at least another corner. Biffle most certainly is quicker at this point in the run. You'll see the car not biting center off. Slides up the track just a bit. But again, Biffle can't make the pass down to the inside. 51 laps into the race. I am afraid I'm going to lose positions on pit road during green flag stop, so picker is going to have to be perfect on a day like today. We need as many positions as we can get. I mean, honestly, 7.8 seconds off the lead, to me, for what we have equipment-wise in this race, doesn't feel that bad. If we're going to try to take the high line. Interesting route to try to get by this 22. That's not going to work. It's amazing how much battling side-by-side does to slowing your momentum down here, because just a little bit of side-by-side racing with this group of 3 cars that have been going on for the last lap or so, we are starting to close the gap on them. That would be Michael Waltrip, Kyle Busch, and Dale Jarrett. barrel roll today. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're going to have to give up the spot to Biffle now. I had to lift quite a bit right in the middle of the corner to keep it off the wall that time. Joe Nemechek hot on the heels of Blaney also, and almost got to the inside of him in the middle of 1 and 2 there. Biffle could have one of the better cars in this race, just didn't qualify as well as he would have hoped. And Nemechek got to get by for 14th. Biffle still up 4 positions from where he started. Net gain on this opening run. He was as high as 10th place. Definitely seems I'm better in the short run than the long run. We went from 19th to 10th. Most certainly fading now. Busch with a bit of a block on Biffle during the back straightaway run there. And that's because he wanted to get to pit road. So Dale Jarrett, Kyle Busch looked like they're the first 2 cars on pit road. Nobody else was down there before them. So on the way to lap 59, we have our first drivers making their first pit stops of the night. The hope for us personally is that we can stay out as long as we possibly can and hopefully get a lap lead. Biffle coming down, several others as well. Blaney up to 8th now. Kurt Busch still leading. And that is not the caution we needed there. That was a big hit. There's going to be quite a few guys trapped a lap down because of that. That was not the ideal caution we needed there. We can't take fuel or tires because I caused the incident. The only good thing with the caution is that there are guys that are trapped a lap down, but because we're not able to pit, we're not really going to be able to capitalize on that. And that's a punishment for being involved in the incident there. First caution of the race. Here tonight at Charlotte. About 4.4 seconds of damage. All I had to do was just make it onto pit road. It's hard to tell who all pitted and who didn't for that caution. The apron monster got us.
We are deep in the field. Be careful and start working your way up.
Interested to see where we restart. Oh, it's going to be the front of the field. Okay. Well, it's one way to get some bonus points at least. 5 bonus points for Dave Blaney leading his first laps of the day. Not a great launch in the restart zone, though, and Kevin Harvick in the 29 car going to take the lead on the outside. Oh, what am I doing there? I was just trying to go up the track. The side draft, I about wrecked myself again. Hang on to it. Somehow I'm still only in third. And didn't lose more positions there. Most of the cars that passed us on the restart were all lapped down on the inside lane. We're going to have to pit within a few laps. Just waiting to see if we get a caution before that. Pit under the yellow, so we won't go a lap down. Yeah, that caution honestly put us in a worse spot because now we're going to be within a few laps away here of going a lap down. Still going to have to be a 4-tire stop. Took me about 2 laps, but we did settle in on the restart eventually. Kenseth's getting closer also. We're going to stay out. No, I'm going to pit this time. I don't want to run out of gas. Just going to stay out maybe one more lap. Alright, well, it was a clean pit road entry at the very least. Going to make an air pressure adjustment here. 2 pounds all the way around. And that will be the only adjustment on our first stop of the day. Got a good first yellow. And now a mistake on the pit stop also going to slow down the 22. Rear tire changer. Having issues trying to get the left rear tire on. The new one on. 41st. There is somebody else out of the race also, but it's hard to tell exactly who it is. So a slight air pressure adjustment there for the 22. 2 pounds all the way around. We're going to be the last car on track. And again, 1 lap down. Not sure exactly how many cars are off the lead lap, but there are quite a few. So we're definitely nowhere near the free pass position, both by position and by way of where exactly they are on the track. We do have slightly fresher tires, but only by a few laps, maybe 4 or 5 of them, from the restart to where we are now. Long race, though, 500 miles, and we're still in the first 100 laps. I'd imagine we're still going to have to pit 4 more times in the race, so see what we can do. We were able to lead under caution, so we did receive 5 bonus points. Albeit we did not lead a green flag lap yet today. Doesn't matter what kind of laps you lead. A lap is 5 bonus points. We've led in each of the first 5 chase races. We've led in all but 3 races all season. Billy Kramer, thank you for tuning in tonight. Alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in this race here today. Car's definitely more free, which is what I was hoping for. Try to help it turn through the center of the corner a little better. It definitely feels as if it is doing that. I do feel that we are catching the pack in the field at least. Couple of NASCAR records are kind of hanging in the balance for ourselves on the season statistics side of things. We have a chance to break the average finish record, which as of right now, we are at a 5.7 average finish coming into the day. 7.3 is the record to beat. And after tonight, we only have 5 races left. But if we were to finish really deep in the field, that would hurt our average finish significantly. So let's hope that that doesn't happen. And the laps led record. We've led just over 4,000 laps after Talladega yesterday, and we are just over 200 laps led away from the record. I would like to think we should be able to break that record at Martinsville tomorrow. I haven't mentioned it at all during the stream so far because I really didn't see us leading anywhere close to 200 laps today, which surprised we even led one, to be completely honest. But again, it was under caution, not under green. It does add to the total, though. We'll just have to wait and see. Still never know what can happen in a full race. Definitely doing our best just to grind it out here this evening. If you remember, though, back to yesterday's race at Talladega, in which we won, those first 60 laps were very rough for us. And it was not a great start. We're kind of starting from behind yet again today under different circumstances, but still not a promisable start that would lead to a good finish. Took fuel mileage to win at Dega yesterday. What will it take to win here today? I do feel like the car's handling better now than what it was before with the air pressure adjustment. It's hard to gauge because we're a lap down if I'm actually faster than Kevin Harvick at the front of the field, but we are definitely faster than cars at the tail end of the field. So we should be able to start getting into traffic here fairly soon and hopefully make some passes and continue to try to work our way through the field. I'd imagine these 3 cars at the very tail end of the field are a lap down, although not 100% sure until we pass them. We're going to have zero clue over the course of this whole run. Oh, Stremme up against the wall. I don't know if I really want a caution right now. I'd be all right with it running green for a while. At some point, I think we are going to need a timeable caution, but I don't think it would really help us at the moment. Unless everybody else stayed out, and then I could pit for fresh tires. By the way, both those passes were not for position, so Stremme and Menard are on the lead lap. That was a big hit up against the wall as well there for Stremme. Clean passes though for Blaney to get by both cars. And run on Sorensen, but not a big enough of one to try to make the pass entering turn 3. Right in the middle of 3 and 4, he gets underneath them, though. And that pass is for position. So we're not last of everybody on the track anymore. 40th. 2 cars are out of the race. And many others off the lead lap that we could still get for position based on the strategy we are currently holding. Well, if we were a 15th place car at the end of that first run anyway on speed, I do like to think we're quicker than that now. I don't know how much quicker, but we have to be quicker. I just feel faster. The car is way more gripped up. Who would have thought 2 pounds of PSI all the way around was going to be that much of a difference on this opening run, but it really is. Gone just over 20 laps on these tires, and it's still gripping up perfectly. I'd say center off. It might float a little bit, 3 and 4, but I think it's just going to do that for me regardless of what I do. And I'm all right with that because it keeps me away from the apron and potentially spinning out here. Because that apron is lethal. And speaking of lethal, we're going to go for it here on the front stretch. Wow. Well, we got 8 positions out of that. I don't know what happened off turn 4, but we're splitting through the grass. Split in the middle. Little Days of Thunder action. Passed a lot of cars that weren't for position, but it's more traffic we got by without having to battle through them. And a lot more clean air in front of us still. That couldn't have worked out any better for us. I was scared I was going to start to slide when I got down to the grass. It was a gamble that paid off. That's for sure. Especially Dale Jarrett down on the bottom of the track, too. I didn't know if he was going to stay on the bottom or drive back to the top, so I just kind of let it go to the top. And luckily, he stayed down there. He held his line and got through. Man, what an ugly chase for Dale Jarrett so far. He's either lapped down at the tail end of it, and we passed him for position, or he is on the lead lap but at the tail end of it. He might have one of the worst chases of all time. There's some bad ones up there, but catastrophic failure for him. And this is after winning the regular season finale, too. That's the crazy thing. He had momentum going into the chase. He won the final race of the regular season at Richmond. First and only win of the season. Next 4 races. Outside the top 10, and only one top 15 to show for. Lap 94. Got a run on Brian Vickers in the 25 for Hendrick Motorsports here. Looking to the inside. I was out of the gas for a long time. I had a big run on him. Cut him a lot of slack there after he made a pretty big block entering turn 3. I don't know that I'm quite going to be able to get down to the inside into turn 1 either. Sucks when you come from a long ways back and you got the speed to catch and eventually pass somebody, but they're making it so difficult. Time is money. Well, contact had to be a little more aggressive there, and I definitely was. That was a spot also, 31st. This 22 car now. Vickers had a run on the front stretch trying to get back to us, but I don't think he's going to get there. Give us a lap or so. We should start to pull away from him. Now it looks like Kevin Harvick's just kind of pulling away from everybody else pretty easily at that. Don't count Kevin Harvick out of the championship race either. He's third in points, 160 back. Mathematically, he can't take the points lead today no matter where Dave Blaney finishes. But he can definitely get to second if Jeff Gordon's still outside the top 10. And he could cut into that deficit by a wide margin if Blaney can't get back on the lead lap today. Not quite halfway out of gas yet. Chopped the corner entry off quite a bit. Hit the apron and it just kind of sent the car up the hill. Vickers closes yet again. I'm almost exactly a lap and a half off the race lead. One full lap down and then another half a lap. Got Vickers a ton through 3 and 4 that time. 100 laps complete here today at Charlotte. We are catching the 18 car of J.J. Yaley. Massive run on the back of the 18. Through turns 3 and 4, a cut to the inside off turn 4. Looking to make this pass down towards turn 1. Yaley going to stay in front. Now he's really starting to block. Again, right off the exit of turn 4, going to pull back to the inside. Halfway out of gas at this point in the run. Finally beat him into the corner. It's turn 3. Pass clear off turn 4, and that was not a position. Best timing for a caution is going to be when we could stay out just a little bit longer than everybody else because of pitting after the first caution. I'm not sure that we're going to have many laps that we'll be able to stay out, but there will at least be a few and give us a sliver of a chance to catch that timely yellow and hopefully get back on the lead lap. And hopefully it's a more recent pit stop than further down the line, so we have more laps to try to make our time up then once we get the lead lap, because still going through growing pains of trying to find the right setup for the help of this car. So we are lacking speed here today. We definitely have better than 31st place speed, which is where we're currently at on the leaderboard. Blaney underneath Sterling Marlin. Big block by Sterling getting into turn one there. Side drafted him just a little bit down the back straightaway. Definitely underneath him entering turn three. And that pass will be made for position. Casey Kane clears 174, moves up immediately. Blaney got underneath the 174 car now. Big dive entering turn one. Clear. Trying to get by the 9 car of Casey Kane. That'd be best to just kind of sit behind him. Maybe we have a chance of pulling away from these cars just out of the rear view, but the problem is we're not pulling away from them. They got right into the back of Casey off the exit of the corner, and that just shoved the car right into the wall. Lancelot, thanks for tuning in. Again, that was a position on Sterling Marlin, like I mentioned already. So now that dropped us back to 31st. I was really looking to just kind of be patient behind Casey Kane, too, but Marlin was just hanging around for so long. Almost wonder if he's kind of holding them up, and Marlin's the faster of those cars up there. This guy looking to pass us. 174 car. That is not a position. I can tell you that for a fact, because we were in 31st for a while when we passed him and didn't gain another spot out of it. When are we going to start to see cars pit? I mean, we're getting close to lap 120. We started seeing pit stops under green at lap 58, 59 earlier, so we've got to be seeing cars pit really any lap here. Jackson Robinson, thanks for tuning in. Ethan Chua, also welcome to the stream. Yep, this is Charlotte. Through the 2000s, it was title sponsored by Lowe's. So that's why I have Lowe's Motor Speedway in the title for the stream today. Right there. There is one car on pit road right now, actually. And I wonder if we're going to have more on their way in. See if that is a scheduled stop or not. Big block by Casey Kane on the back straightaway. He's been holding us up for a minute now. Another car on pit road. So just starting to see cars down in the pits for the second time here today. We haven't even gone down to a quarter of a tank of gas left this point in the run, so we're making good fuel mileage. And we pitted a little bit later than everybody else, so we could go further in the hopes of trying to catch a caution and get our lap back. That's definitely going to be what it's going to take. Now we're down to a quarter tank of gas. Up to 25th. Appears Casey Kane's probably going to be pitting this time. '21st. That's where Blaney runs. Just bought college football at 25. Yeah, I finished my first season up earlier today. 8-6 record. And I did make it to the Big Ten title game. I had the second best record in the Big Ten in the regular season. I had the tiebreaker over Ohio State because I beat them to get the shot at it, and I lost to Oregon in overtime, unfortunately. Double overtime, actually. Had the ball first, scored touchdown, then they scored a touchdown. I threw an interception, and they won with a field goal. Or I should say they got a field goal to start the second overtime, and I only needed touchdown and threw a pick. Touchdown would have won the game in the Big Ten title. That would have been a successful first season the way things started. I was doing good there for a minute. I won 6 in a row after I lost the first 2, and then had some upsets in there, too. I beat a top 10 Washington team. I did lose to Oregon, was my third loss. Then I got upset by Indiana. I fell out of the top 25 again, and then got back in it. By the time I got to the Big Ten title game, lost. I think I was ranked 24 into the bowl game with the 5 losses at 8-5. It was probably because I was at least in my conference championship game, but then I ended up losing to Hawaii in the LA Bowl, so that was great. Did not finish the season very strong. I finished it weak. I started it weak. It was a good, meaty portion of the schedule. I got to beat Ohio State 6-0. My offense sucks. I have to deal with Alex Orji as a quarterback starting for the next season. He's good at times. He's not a great thrower. I could run a good option with him though. He's got good mobility. Eric 1 again, thanks for tuning in. Gonna play as Missouri. Hey, I mean, they got a good program. They've been ranked most of the season. We're back in the top 10 as of right now in the middle of the cycling at green flag stops. We were 31st right before the pit stop started. 1 lap down, so hoping to get our lap back by staying out longer. Not only we're in 10th, but we are on the lead lap as well. Still in 10th. Need a yellow, yeah. And we're going to need it like right now or any time before we pit. We're definitely not going to fall a lap down before we pit because we're within a half a lap of Harvick. We're not going to be anywhere near the free pass position if this were to just stay green to the end of the race. So this is what we have to do. We try to get our lap back, and we're not going to have many laps at the end of each run to try to do this. But we definitely have to go off strategy the rest of the race. But staying out longer during green flag stops, that's if we do catch a caution, but not in the spot we need it like it is right now, where we're on the lead lap for a brief moment. That we're going to have to do opposite of everybody else there also. Hope that they stay out and we pit. So it gives us even more fuel than we already have. Got another slow car down on the apron. Oh, it's Harvick! The leader has blown an engine, and that is the second chase driver to have an engine failure today. Kurt Busch took the lead down the back straightaway because of it, and then Jeff Gordon beats him into turn 3. So Gordon is out in front for the second time today here at Charlotte. And the driver third in the point standings, Kevin Harvick, blows up from the lead, and he had a pretty lengthy lead too. Kyle Lance, thanks for tuning in. Well, that moves us up to 9th. 2 chasers out of the race. 3rd in points, Kevin Harvick, and 7th in points, Ryan Newman. Newman, after DNF at Talladega yesterday, pretty much out of it. Back-to-back DNF's definitely not going to help him. It probably completely eliminates him from the chase now, if he wasn't already practically eliminated from contention. Fuel only stop? No, because it's not going to keep me on the lead lap. I'm going to take tires. My tires are wearing out too much, too. I wouldn't be able to go a full fuel run without having to change them again. So it's going to be 4-tire pit stops pretty much all day. And if only Harvick caused a caution when he blew that engine. Got us a lot closer to the lead. We were 12 seconds behind Harvick, but only about 6 seconds behind Gordon. Still go a handful of laps yet before pitting. 6.9 seconds off Gordon. What a huge race for Jeff Gordon to win if he could get it done here today. Really eat into that points lead. Got to go out and win Martinsville at the very least tomorrow. Martinsville and Phoenix are the 2 races I have to win the rest of the year because I know going in I'm going to have a really strong car capable of doing so. Right at 200 laps to go this time by. We'll have 200 miles down, 300 to go. Going to try to go to lap 137. not going to make any adjustments this time. I really like the air pressure adjustment we made on the first stop. Blaney going to go one more lap in the hopes of catching a caution. Still 7.5 seconds off the lead in 9th place. And he will go a lap down yet again. Didn't get a caution this run, unfortunately. Still got a little bit of time. Got about 10 seconds before I hit pit road. Start backing it down. A lot harder on the pit road that time. I'll take the gamble. I'll go rights only. I'll go rights only. I'll drop the air... Well, I can't drop the air pressure back to where it was. Take a gamble here. Rights only. I didn't realize the lefts were actually taken care of as well as they were at that point in the run. We're gambling for strategy purposes only here today. We're still going to go a lap down. The hope is that we're not going to be towards the tail end of that. '26th. I was 31st. Gained 5 positions so far. Should free the car up a little bit. The old left side tires on it, I would like to think at least. Denny Hamlin in the 11 car just behind us. Did a good job not locking the tires up coming into the pits either. Martin and Biffler lap down. Yeah, they did get us for position. I will say with the PS5, the games to install seem very quick. Way quicker than the PS4. Like, the whole game was fully installed in probably less than a half hour. Usually when it has to run all the updates and all the new patches and stuff, it's not that quick. At least with my internet, sometimes it takes like an hour. A couple hours. Depending on how many exactly there are. I gonna upgrade the internet speeds? Are you asking about me, or I would imagine you're probably asking me. I can't really do much more with my internet. I literally have about the best internet that I could get for where I live. We don't have lag issues nearly as much as we used to. So that's good. The few times we do have it, you know, I just got to deal with it. It's fortunate reality of just what they offer in my area. I mean, this is literally the best I can get. Hopefully next time I go to move, get better service elsewhere. That's the hope. I think there's a chance we can make this race on 2 more pit stops, so if we can extend these couple of fuel windows as far as we possibly can, I mean, that's one way of getting a lead lap finish at the very least. Hamlin's been right behind us ever since we left pit road, but he hasn't been able to make the pass yet. Gaining ground on David Stremme. I would think this is for position because last time we passed him it wasn't, so he was on the lead lap. But he is definitely slow enough. He has fallen a lap down, so this is for 25th. And the same for Paul Menard when we catch him, who I believe would be the next car up ahead. Oh, that wasn't a spot. Well, maybe he was multiple laps down then. That could have been. Maybe he was 2 laps down when I caught him the first time, and now he's 3 down. Just ran our fastest lap of the race. 30.358. Man, I was really hoping that was going to be another spot. Every position matters for where we are at the finish. Outside the top 10, every position's worth 3 points that we pick up. And with Jeff Gordon leading the way right now here at Charlotte, he's doing the best he can to try to get himself in position to maybe taking this points lead here today. Right at the halfway mark of the chase. I mean, Blaney and Gordon have been the 2 most consistent drivers since about the midway point of the regular season to where we're at now. Paul Menard is a spot, so he at least was on the lead lap the first time. Stremme is, or was not a spot. Reed Sorensen's not going to be either because I passed him for position a lap down earlier already. So these guys right at the tail end of the field are just overly slow. At least one of them was a spot. Better than none. Slightly getting away from Denny Hamlin now. We have ran 2 fastest laps of the race in the span of the last few. Lap 150 here at Charlotte, for where we're at currently. That car right in front of Biffle and Martin are holding them up, and we know that those are 2 more positions. Biffle just passed the 6 for a spot. Biffle is 6th in points entering this race. 260 out of first. Didn't DNF Ed Daga yesterday, but finished 32nd. Yeah, Biffle was 2nd entering the chase. Number 2 seed. This would have been a shot for him to get right back in it with Blaney being where he's at, but he's not capitalizing on it. Running in 24th, only 2 spots ahead. And with Harvick out of the race, I'm not sure exactly where Jimmy Johnson and Dale Jr. are. Dale Jr. did lead laps earlier, so he has had 5 bonus points. I don't think Johnson has led at all. They're kind of the other 2 drivers who I think are still in contention right now for the championship. They're not going to gain on Gordon for 2nd, but they can try to gain on Blaney Be careful clipping that apron there. Had a lot of it in turns 1 and 2. Checked up in the middle of the corner just to make sure I wasn't going to spin out. We need a caution, but we can't be the cause of the yellow. I don't really think a caution at this point in time is going to really help us any anyway. I wonder if Joe Nemechek's a spot up here also. The more these three cars battle, the more we're creeping in on him. Ever so slightly. Really tried to back the entry up a little more into 3 and 4. Carried a little bit more speed getting down in there now that we're close enough to be in the draft behind these two cars in front of us. A little less than 3/100ths of a second off the fastest lap of the race that last time. So we're definitely closing the gap as we get closer to the 01, 6, and 16. Trying to back that entry up into 3 and 4 yet again. Didn't get all the way to the bottom of the racetrack that time, but only to the middle groove. Still gaining by the exit of turn 4. Only about 4/1000ths of a second slower than the lap before that. Blaney with a run to the inside of Greg Biffle. And try to stay with following Nemechek. And we're going to get by both Biffle and Martin, and now up to 23rd here for Dave Blaney on the leaderboard. Not sure if Nemechek is a spot or not either, but the plan will be to just kind of stay behind him for a little bit at least. Problem is, I can't have Mark Martin this close to my back bumper because the car is getting way too aero-free with him right on our rear spoiler like that. I've noticed ever since we got into the chase, we haven't seen anybody down a cylinder come back into the race after previous engine issues in the race. Got you Kyle Petty in the 45. We'll have to wait to see if that'll be a spot also. Just ran our fastest lap of the race that last time by, and we're going to get to the inside of Joe Nemechek, which again is not a position. But all clear off turn 2. There's a giant pack of cars up there that we're also catching over this course of the run, and we are pulling away from Nemechek, Martin, and Biffle. Another 30.25 won that last lap as we close on Kyle Petty in the 45. That's a spot, 22nd. And you just wonder how many cars are a lap down right now. Still quite a few cars in general between ourselves and Jeff Gordon, but how many? Not quite halfway through the current fuel run yet either. Exactly 169 laps to go in the race. We pitted with about 198 to go. So we pretty much got to go about 66 laps a run, 65 once, to make it on fuel, just pitting 2 more times. And if we do that, I think we can at least get a top 10. We took right sides only the last stop, and it did gain us a bit of time. We cycled out in 26. We were 31st. So it gained us 5 positions and a little more time on the track compared to Jeff Gordon. The left sides aren't falling off of the car completely at this point in the run either. I look at it too. We were just under 8 seconds off the lead from Jeff Gordon when we pitted. Can we make up about 8 seconds with the 2-tire stop we already took, and maybe one more 2-tire stop in the race as well? Or maybe go 4 and then change 2 again. Main ground on the 198. No idea who is for, not for position of anybody that we pass. A lot of contact getting into turn 1. That was not a position, though. Quite a few other cars that were gaining on just ahead. Follow the 123 car to the inside of the 126. That wasn't a spot either. And now underneath the 123. And that is a position for 21st. Yeah, honestly, I think we're making up some pretty good lap time for where we're at. Kyle Busch just got passed by Hans Good and Robbie Gordon. Lenny pushes inside of Robbie Gordon. Stays in line right behind Kyle Busch. Going to get by the 180 of Hans Good into turn 3. Neither of those two passes that last lap for Blaney were for position. And now looking to the inside of Busch on the front stretch and entering turn 1. And that passes for 20th. And Robbie Gordon gets back by Busch as well. Buffer car between the two battling for this 20th spot on the grid. It's nice to know that we have made the car better over the course of the race. Only pitted 2 times. And we should be getting close to the 3rd for at least everybody but Dave Blaney. Busch may be trying to battle back. Great corner for Dave Blaney through turns 1 and 2 there. Big dive getting into turn 3 underneath the 174. It's all over that white line. Still cleared the car off the exit of turn 4. Motto right now is just keep passing cars. We've got to be close to those that are the first cars a lap down. As you look at the track map, and outside of the handful of cars that are in front of us that we can see on the same straightaway as us, there's not that many other cars where Gordon's at and where we're at after that. So the hope is that those guys are on the lead lap. One caution the entire race so far. We're currently working lap 178. Haven't seen anybody pit for the third time yet, but again, I would imagine that will be coming around lap 180, which is just 2 laps away from now. And there was one car that was down on pit road. We got a spot out of it, up to 19th now. So that was another car that was a lap down then. We passed them that first time by. Finally starting to slowly pull Kyle Busch. Matt Kensington, the 17 car, cycling off of pit road. I don't think Blaney's going to... Yeah, we did get him. Caught him, but in a bad spot. It's just on his outside. We'll pass him to the bottom through turns 3 and 4 now. Clear on the front stretch. Kensington on fresher tires, going to really apply a lot of pressure to get back by Blaney. This is a guy we can be battling for position with later, so I don't want to let him by. All things considered, I thought that was a pretty solid corner. Bobby Labonte pitting out of this pack. He was on the lead lap because he wasn't in position initially making the pass. Somebody else on pit road was. I think Jamie McMurray's going to pit just up in front of us. Jeff Green, Martin Truex Jr. stay out at least one more time. Jeff Gordon stayed out that last lap also. Up to 15th. 13th now for Dave Blaney entering turn 1. Still 13th that time by. Drove it in really deep, getting into 3 and 4 there. Truex looked like he got a little loose off turn 4, and we're still going to gain ground on him. 30.259 that last lap. Another pretty solid lap. Anytime I'm in the 32s, that's a really good lap. I think Jeff Gordon pitted that last time by because Kurt Busch is back in the lead again. Truck's a little loose off turn 4 again. 30.217, fastest lap of the day for Dave Blaney that last time. Little contact with Truex there. That was dangerous area to make it right in the middle of 1 and 2. Drove off of him, luckily. Trying to get back in a rhythm again, down into 3 and 4. Jeff Green is currently the leader for the first time today. So we are the first car lap down in the middle of green flag pit stops at least. And once Jeff Green pits, we'll be back on the lead lap. We'll draft behind him for now until he pits, whenever that may be. I don't think he is pitting this time. We're in an okay spot, so I don't want to push the issue. 6th place currently. Especially if Jeff Gordon's a lap down right now, too. Now would be a great time for a caution. Especially because it looks as if Jeff Green will be pitting. Staying in that middle groove. Most of the way through 3 and 4 as Green pits. So Dave Blaney back on the lead lap. That might have been the last of the cars they had to pit outside of this 22. Quarter of a tank of gas left this point in the run here for Blaney. Just pulling to the inside of J.J. Yaley. Off turn 4. Another spot on green there for 5th. Big drive there by the 22. This car's getting more and more ill on the handling side of things. Really taking these left side tires a long way. I'll try to pass this 174. Clear. Off the exit of turn 4. Yaley back underneath them. They'll run side by side for a brief moment. We're 4.2 seconds off the lead. So we have gained time on Gordon over the course of the run because we were almost 8 seconds off the lead when I pitted the last time. Let's try to see if we can at least stay around 4 to 5 seconds off the lead before we pit again. And the hope is that we catch a caution right now while we're back on the lead lap. Right front starting to give way on us a little bit as well. Both the left side tires still in the yellow and the tire wear indicator. Almost a full quarter tank of gas, though, we could go on this run for the fuel side of things. And to make it on 2 more stops the rest of the way, too, we have to push it for that reason. I would not have thought that this was going to be a 4-stop race today. I would have thought probably 5 stops entering. We've only had 1 caution to save a little bit of gas there. I'm really just hoping we get the second yellow because I really think the car is more competitive than it was earlier. Spin somebody out for... Well, okay, so the problem with that is I caused the caution, so I can't pit for fuel or tires per my rules under the incident. So, yes, I would get the caution, but then I'd be right back a lap down again because I'd have to pit after the restart. That's why I let these things play out naturally. Sorensen. I thought he was going to self-clear him into the wall when he was trying to make that pass on the 10 car of Scott Riggs. Riggs with the crossover down into turn 1. Just two battling profusely with each other, and 22 is catching up quickly. Lefts only, I might do that, honestly. I'll wait till I get closer into the run. Lap 197 with where we're at. I probably don't have to extend this run all the way out. I think I'm going to take 4 tires this time, honestly. 4 and then go rights again, because I don't know what the balance of the car is going to be taking lefts only. I would imagine it's going to tighten it up quite a bit. And I did what I could to really try to free the car up to where we're at right now to get it to be faster than what it was at the start of the race. We only have 3.8 seconds to try to make up the rest of the race over Gordon, assuming everybody's pitting twice. We know the rest of the field will have to pit twice. Can we make it on 2 stops? That's made on Sterling Marlin pretty cleanly. Riding now behind the 15 of Paul Menard. Driving underneath him through 3 and 4. Making the easy pass on Menard. .200 laps in. I almost got that apron. I was right on the white line. I lifted quite a bit. I didn't want to spin out. Oh, that would have been terrible. I think we're doing fine now. .4 seconds off the 24 car. I'd imagine those next 3 cars in front of us are all second, third, and fourth. It looks like Dale Jr.'s in there, Kurt Busch, and I can't tell who's in second. Maybe Elliott Sadler. Jeff Gordon obviously leading. Fuel tank getting pretty low. We're going to stay out this time. I'm going to pit the following lap. 2:03 will be our call. We pitted at 1:37 before that, so it's going to be right at about 66 laps, which we had to go 66, 66, and 65 to the end. Junior getting back up to second place for right now. Gonna pit this time. Kind of floated up the track on the entry to the corner there. Can't speed either, didn't. 4 tires and a full tank of gas here for the 22. No adjustments on the stop. All right, well, I'm doing the best I can. I was gripping the controller so hard. Wrist is starting to get a little tight. All right. Leaving pit road. Here we are. 19th. So we try to get up to speed. And obviously we're back to being a lap down again. And on these 4 fresh Goodyears now, compared to the rest of the field, how much ground does Dave Blaney get a gain on Jeff Gordon? Got to gain about 3.8 seconds from where we were entering pit road to the end of the race. Might have to run these lefts the rest of the way. Seems ridiculous, but I'm hoping that that'll be about the 3.8 seconds of time that we can gain. Or even come out with the lead and just try to hold them off. Something. Got to find something. Probably expecting around lap 240-ish we'll start seeing the other cars hit pit road again. The hope is that we have one less stop left the rest of the way. So although we're a lap down, we only have to pit one more time. Everybody else is going to have to pit twice. Went about as far as we could on fuel the last 2 runs. Got to go 66 and 65 laps still to the end. From when we last pitted. We just went 66, so it's definitely doable. There's no saving gas, though, either. We're pushing hard. Jeff Gordon is probably going to lead the most laps today. So he will get a huge 10 bonus points for himself on the championship standings. As again, he came in just over 100 points back in second to that of Dave Blaney, who is currently in 19th. A caution right now would not help Dave Blaney. He's going to need that caution if we do get one while he's on the lead lap on that side of the cycling. And 0 for 2 now in getting it. He'd have to be in the free pass position to be in a better spot for later, but I don't think he's anywhere near that right now. Probably about a lap and a third behind Gordon. Jeff Green in the 66 car. 30.263 that last lap for Dave Blaney. Looking to the inside of Green off turn 4. 30.202 that last lap, fastest lap of the day. And again, Green stays in front of Dave Blaney. Both cars going to try to get by Reed Sorensen in the 41 there. And again, Blaney underneath Green. Green on the lead lap. And we have him cleared off turn 4. I caught past the 174 car earlier, so I would imagine he's not for position. And we'll still be in 19th making this pass as well. No, that was a spot. Never mind. 17th. I gained a position somewhere else on the track, too, and it wasn't passing Jeff Green. I think somebody else blew a motor within the last few laps, and I didn't see it. Maybe they were on pit road already. But we did gain an extra spot there, so now up to 17th place. Maybe it was Green for position, but I don't think so, because he was the leader earlier in the middle of green flag pit stops. We were still lapped down at that time. If we got a caution while we were a lap down, I think I'm staying out of the pits. Just because I know I could still make it on one more stop, and I don't want to lose any track position. That's whether they pit or not. I'd rather restart at the front of the field, because I do think we can make it on one more stop. Gotta get at least another 65 laps out of this run and then go 66 the final, or 66 here, 65, but that's the way we're looking at splitting this. Because if we pit under the caution, everybody else does, then we're all going to have to... I mean, I can still pit on the front part of the run, I guess, but I just don't think I'm going to make up as much time that way. Question is, can Dave Blaney steal one here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, or I guess Lowe's Motor Speedway at this time? And a 30.197 that last lap. Fastest lap of the race for Dave Blaney. First time he cracked a 31. Looking for the clean pass on the 18 of J.J. Haley. Got it. That pass was for 16th. .137. Back-to-back fastest laps of the race here for the 22. Slight contact with Scott Riggs getting into turn one. Allowed for Bobby Labonte to pull us just a little bit down the back straightaway. And now he makes the pass on Sterling Marlin. We got a little bit of that ground back in 3 and 4. Still had a 32 despite the mishap in turn one. Marlin stays wide. And that's for 15th. So Dave Blaney is back in the top 15 outright. And a 30.122 for Blaney. Under behind him, we're slowing up. I ran a 33 that last lap. Trying to find a way to make a pass on this 43 car as soon as we can. Could be a position as well. Another 33. Can't get up off the exit of the corner the way I want to get enough of a run on him. Hogging the white line off the exit of the corner. But again, not enough. It did make slight contact with him off turn 4. I think that hurt the straightaway speed even more. .105 laps to go at the Lowe Motor Speedway in the Bank of America 500. Probably about 10 laps away from starting to see cars hit pit road. .252. Bonnie's been holding him up for a little bit now. Blaney finally gets underneath him off the exit of the corner. Get draft off to the 96 of Tony Raines down the back straightaway to clear Labonte, who was on the lead lap, so that pass wasn't for position. Blaney quickly to the inside of the 96 of Tony Raines. But he's not going to be able to stay underneath him entering turn 1. Raines goes wide in turns 1 and 2. Raines is already a couple laps down also, so that pass wasn't for position. Vickers was a spot earlier. At least, if I remember correctly, I believe he was, so I'm thinking he's not going to be a position. Whoever's in 14th is quite a ways out ahead of where we're at currently. Reeling in Vickers quick. Turns 3 and 4. Yeah, that's not a spot. I didn't think it was. Cleared the 25. 100 laps to go here at Charlotte. Concord, North Carolina at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Jeff Gordon leading the way and trying to do what he can to eat into the points lead of Dave Blaney. A win would be a max points day. I'm pretty sure he's already clinched the most laps led. If he hasn't, he's on his way to doing so. Far and away, Jeff Gordon has led the most laps in tonight's race. And that was after Kevin Harvick had blown an engine from the lead. That's how Gordon had gotten out in front. He had led a few laps before that real early in the race, but Harvick blowing the engine has given an opportunity here for Gordon, to try to capitalize on it. And unfortunately for Harvick, he's going to lose a lot of points to both Blaney and Gordon, and that may take him out of the championship hunt with 5 races to go, as he is definitely going to fall out of third with Dale Jr. in the top 5 all day. And we haven't seen Jimmy Johnson really the whole race. I almost wonder if he's still in the race. Also, Ryan Newman blew a motor of the other chase drivers real early, and those are the only 2 of Harvick and Newman that we know of for sure that blew an engine of the chase drivers. There has been a couple other drivers to have engine failures today, but I'm not sure who they are. I'd like to think Blaney's still not in the free pass position. Needs to just keep running down these cars up ahead of him and do what he can. A lot of the apron there, right in the middle of 3 and 4. Are actually stuck pretty good. Halfway through the fuel run. Any lap now, we're going to start to see the leaders hit pit road for what would be the second to last time today for them. We are trying to make this race a 1 more stop, which we should be able to do. Got to get to at least 66 laps to go. It's kind of that target window for us. Really 67 to go, and then pit coming to 66 to go. We're going to want to make it. Having to strategize to get our lap back in this one. Bonnie just pitted behind us. He's one of the first cars to hit pit road for the second to last time, outside of course, Blaney, who had pitted on the front side of the run. Oh boy, 3 wide. Down to the bottom of the track. Big dive into the corner. Trying to get by everybody. He was around. About 92 to go. So they're probably all going to pit somewhere between 30 and 40 laps left in the race for the final time then. Catch the draft off Dale Jarrett on the back straightaway. We're going to catch him in a bad spot on the outside entering turn 3. Oh, big block by Jarrett. That's going to slow us down a little bit. He was not clear. Ran right into the back of him because of it. There's Dale Jr. That's a spot. So we've cycled past him during this run. We finally have Jarrett clear off turn 2. We were already ahead of. Jeff Gordon's still out on the track, so the longer he stays out on the older tires, the more time we're going to gain on him. Elliott Sadler just hit pit road, and I believe he was in the top 5 as well. Blaney is up to 9th currently. Still a lap down, though, for as long as Gordon chooses to stay out on the racetrack for. Kurt Busch on pit road, and we're back in the lead. Jeff Gordon also in the pits at the same time. Got by Sadler for position. Jeff Green in the 66 still out on the racetrack. He stayed out longer than anybody else the last time also, along with maybe a couple other cars. We'll get to see where Jeff Gordon's going to be at as we work our way through 1 and 2 this time. Are we going to cycle in front of Gordon or not? There's Kurt Busch. Not sure about Jeff Gordon. Not sure where Gordon's at. But we did get by Kurt Busch and Dale Jr. We might be up in 2nd place when everything cycles through here. Currently 5th. Jeff Green is just now coming to pit road. And the 1 car, Martin Truex Jr., will stay out and lead his first lap of the day. Truex, the winner of the Coke 600. Right here at Charlotte earlier in the season. His only win of the season. And technically his career, because this would have been the season in which he got his first career win at Dover in the spring. And he did not win that race. So he ticked off the crown jewel win in the 600 much earlier in his career. Didn't have to wait till his front row days. He got it done right here in the DEI days. The early days. The heydays. More leaders pitting right now. Truex still stays out there on the track. I think Jeff Gordon is the next car ahead of where Dave Blaney is at. And Blaney's still making decent lap time to try to catch him. Up to 3rd for Blaney. Once Truex pits, Gordon will be back in the lead. Blaney has made up almost enough time to the back of Jeff Gordon. We still have 1 more run to go after this. Pickers got to be good on pit road. They did have 1 mistake under a green flag stop real early in the day. The very first one, they kind of fumbled the bag a little bit there. The rear tire changer having problems on the left rear at the time. I'm surprised Truex is still out on the racetrack, and now he pits. Well, he definitely tried to stay out as long as he could. Also probably trying to catch a caution because he's probably going to go a lap down now. Blaney is getting ever so close to Jeff Gordon. Blaney has not let a green flag lap all day today. And he may have the car at this point in the run. Look at him go. Up to 2nd now. And Gordon leads off turn 2. Don't call it a comeback. Here we go. Blaney's going for the lead off turn 4 to the inside. not going to be able to have the straightaway speed necessary to make the pass. A lot of smoke in the middle of 1 and 2, but we didn't get a caution that last time. We are back on the lead lap, so I guess that would secure us in the race, but honestly, if it stays green to the end, I think we're in a great spot. Definitely going to be short pitting. Right there. On the cusp. So top 2 in points duke it out. Blaney driving it in deep, but just doesn't have quite enough for Gordon yet. We're playing heavy defense. He's able to hold Blaney behind him. Betters his case for cycling back to the lead one final time when everybody makes their final stop. Blaney's so desperate to lead for the first time today. During green, we did get bonus points under caution. And a couple of lap cars we're closing in on up here. Reed Sorensen and Denny Hamlin, it appears. And he started losing time that last lap to Gordon. Needs to get back to him. Sorensen to the inside of Hamlin. Gordon stuck, though, side by side. Down the back straightaway. Nowhere to go for the 24 car. And here comes the 22 of Blaney. Creeping in. Looks low. Oh, Sorensen got against the wall off turn 4. But Gordon escaped by in that middle groove. Hamlin got held up. Blaney going for the lead in turn 1. Clear up turn 2. Do you believe in miracles? Because Dave Blaney has come from a lap down to the lead here at Charlotte. We still got time left. Different strategy. Everybody's still going to have to pit one more time, but we're going to have to pit on the front side of it. Hamlin, first car lap down. Unbelievable, man. Never say die. We went a lap down just over 60 laps into the race, and here we are. Trying to do the unthinkable, and that is go 5 for 5 to start the chase. On top of the unthinkable of winning this race, we had a 15th place car at best in the first run. The adjustments made, which were very slight, albeit, but to get us into the situation where we have a car capable of being able to do something like this is just insane of itself. Hamlin getting in our way, though. Got around us on the bottom of the track to get his lap back, and in doing so, Jeff Gordon's able to take to the bottom of the racetrack as he tries to get back to the lead on Blaney and use Hamlin as a pick. Blaney's still holding strong on the outside, though. Hasn't been able to clear Hamlin yet, though. Oh, a little contact with the 11. That's not good. Pushing a little too hard now. Oh, contact there up turn 4. Well, that wasn't the clean way in making the pass, but it was a pass nevertheless. "71 laps to go with where we're at right now. Got to get it down to about 65, 66 to go, somewhere in there to make it for the rest of this race. Second time that Dave Blaney has led today. The fact that it's the two racing for the championship just makes this even that much more entertaining. And with the battling that Jeff Gordon and Dave Blaney have done this run, Dale Jr. in third place is starting to catch up to these two now. And will he have anything for the leaders? He may have pitted after Gordon. Although, no, never mind. I think Gordon did pit after him. Just getting held up by the 22 right now. Back to the inside again goes Jeff Gordon. Fuel load getting pretty light. Still got 68 laps to go right now, so we got to stay out at least a few more laps. For the lead, back to the bottom of the track again. And all clear off turn 4. Clean pass, one corner there. And didn't have to pick him behind a lap car to make it, nor make contact. Dale Jr. trying to make this a 3-car race for the lead. Block down the back straightaway to the bottom of the track on Gordon, trying to stay to the bottom entering turn 3. Be able to do so for now. Little arrow loose off the exit of the corner, big slide. And Earnhardt trying to take the lead on the outside of Gordon. Big time arrow loose. And now it clipped the apron. We're going to be pitting this time, and it's going to be a 4-tire stop. Now that I'm this close to the leaders, I think I can get away with a 4-tire stop and still have a chance of winning this race. But we are pitting this time. I want to have the grip to be able to make those passes if I do fall behind again, just like I was able to do that run. All right, well, money stop needs to be a clean one to try to keep this 22 in it. I think gripping the controller so hard for so long. Our only caution was just after lap 60 in this race, so we've gone a long ways into this thing. Every bit of a 400-plus mile green flag run to the checker if it stays green all the way to the end. Now we're going to need this to stay green long enough for everybody else to cycle through. Probably going to have a little bit of time that we're going to have to gain to try to get back to where Gordon and Earnhardt were prior to us pitting. But it is doable. A 272 at the line this time. We are in our window also. because we only have to go 64 laps on this final run. Where before, we had to go 65, 66, so we're even that much better on fuel to the finish. Should be, if I had to guess, we should be 2 laps to the good on fuel the rest of the way. So it's not even a fuel mileage race, but it is a pit strategy race from where we were in, well, now currently are, again, a lap down in 15th. And he has to gain ground on Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr. He's got to be near perfect the rest of this race to try to have a chance for when they cycle off of pit road. They'll be at a tire disadvantage when they come out of the pits. But he's on the tire advantage right now, trying to eat into the deficit one final time. Last time it was Jeff Gordon and Dave Blaney battling each other for the race win. Well, not counting Talladega yesterday, where Gordon actually finished second in the fuel mileage race to that of Dave Blaney, but actually battling back and forth was Pocono, and we know how Pocono ended. So I definitely don't want to do that again, knowing where we're at in the season. I don't want to throw it all away. Almost did right there. Clipped the apron, sucked us down. Luckily didn't spin us out. Probably gave up a little time through the center of the corner. 59 laps to go for where we're at right now. Well, it's nice to know we were able to come from a lap down to at least take the lead. You know, that was thrilling in and of itself. Taken a couple times away from that 24 car nonetheless. Hopefully we got another time left in us. I'd imagine the overall pit stop itself in that time is going to be quicker for Gordon than what it's going to be for us. He can't block us, that's for sure. We got to get around these guys as quick as we can. And do just that through turns 1 and 2. All clear. A lot of clean air in front of the 22 of Dave Blaney. .55 laps to go for where we're at currently. Right around lap 300. Again, between 30 and 40 to go, we'll probably see the rest of the field hit pit road entirely. And that will cycle us back on the lead lap. So if we were to get another caution of the race, we have to hope that it's after we get our lap back. Otherwise, that'll be all she wrote for us. Took us so long just to come from a lap down to get up there once. Dale Jr. to the lead, by the way. He just passed Jeff Gordon getting into turn 3. Second time Dale Jr. has led here today at Charlotte. For the moment of suspense, I am going to pause it on the back straightaway here so I can get my charger and not have to pause it too much later into the race in the midst of the battle. So give me one moment. I got to leave my room for a quick second. All right. Here we go. To answer that question from earlier, Ethan, yes, we can make it on one more step. We're going 64 laps. This final run, we've gone 66 laps twice. 66 and 67, actually. So we're 2 to 3 laps to the good on fuel. Won't have to worry about saving. Which is great for having to deal with what we had to deal with at Dover and Talladega again. Landing on these 4 fresh tires, trying to eat into the lead as much as he can. 50 laps to go here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway in the Bank of America 500. Who is going to win? As we ride in 15th for now. That will only be until everything cycles with short pitting. On a different strategy overall than that of the rest of the field, which has led us to getting a chance to win if it stays green at least long enough for us to cycle all the way back through. We got somebody blowing up on the back straightaway. It's Greg Biffle, another chaser. It's the third, at least third, chase driver to blow an engine. Biffle, Harvick, and Newman. Here tonight, Harvick third in points, Biffle sixth, Newman seventh. Biffle was on the kind of the cusp of potentially having a shot still, and he's probably out of it now. Harvick will probably be out of it, especially looking at Gordon, Earnhardt, and Dave Blaney are going to be the 3 battling for the win if it stays green the rest of the way. For our sake, because I'm more worried about Jeff Gordon than Dale Jr., just because Earnhardt's 199 points back. Jeff Gordon's much closer. Priority number 1, beat Jeff Gordon today. And priority number 2 is to win the race, but might be able to do both. The Chaser's curse, I guess. We went 3 full races without any of them DNFing, and then had 4 of them yesterday and at least 3 today. Newman in both races. Stewart last night. Second straight finish outside the top 30 for Biffle, even though he ended up not DNFing. He still finished 32nd at Dega. Sadler blew an engine yesterday. Last we knew, he was in the top 5. Paul Menard outside of the racetrack. Clipped the apron, shoved right into him. Yeah, that dropped the lap time to a 34:07. .43 to go at the line. On her own, that last lap ran a 30.408. Fastest laps of the day were in the low 31s. Still got to try to make up just enough ground to try to get to them once everything cycles through. The battling that Jeff Gordon and Dave Blaney were able to do with each other earlier, that allowed for Dale Jr. to even catch up to Gordon in the first place. And now, obviously, past him, maybe Gordon used his tires up a little earlier in the run compared to Dale Jr., who was just kind of sitting back, just trying to close the gap and then eventually catch up and make the pass on Gordon a few laps after Blaney pitted. And this the second time Dale Jr. has led, but it's been since real early in the race. That first fuel run was the last time he led. I think it was honestly in those first 10 to 20 laps. Way before even that first and only caution we've had today, which was right around lap 62. A 270 lap green flag run to the checker from the last restart to the finish, just over 400 miles that would be. Just over a full straightaway off the leader, I should say specifically, is where we're at on track. I'm not sure exactly where I was in comparison to Earnhardt and Gordon. I do feel like I was closer, though. I mean, it was a clean stop. Pretty solid pit road entry. Didn't give up any time there. No better or worse than I would have done prior in the race. Better than the first couple, but maybe the pit road entry was slightly better than the stop before also. Maybe they haven't had to deal with as much lap traffic. I mean, I haven't really had to deal with much lap traffic either. It picked up a little bit there. 30.308, about a tenth quicker than where we were a few laps ago. This thing is heating up. So we get closer to the finish, under 40 to go. Kurt Busch up here. This group of cars. Bobby Labonte, David Stremme, Tony Raines as well. Kurt Busch is on the lead lap. Probably in the top 5. He's led a bunch of laps today also. More in the first half of the race, not as many in the second half. Hopefully under Stremme. Oh, overdrove it though, trying to get underneath him. Working on Reigns. Reigns shoves way up the hill, entering 3. Have him cleared easily off turn 4. Had a 32.42 that last lap. Picking up a little bit again. Gonna get to the inside of Jarrett. Bobby Labonte just in front of us pits. He was one of the first cars to pit road the last time as well. We have Jarrett clear off turn 4. 30.176 that last time, so got back into the 31s. I think Jarrett's going to finish outside the top 10 again. I think he's multiple laps down. I'm curious if he's even going to get a top 10 finish in the chase at this rate. He'll be over 5. Meanwhile, we might go 5 for 5 on wins. Complete opposite. Held up behind the 2 of Kurt Busch, and he's not letting us through. A block to the inside. Kurt definitely not pitting this time. Just enough room to get underneath him in the middle of 3 and 4. Just clear on the exit of the corner as well. 32 to go. Dale Jr. still leads and still on track. Gordon stayed out later than Earnhardt the last couple runs. So I'd imagine if Dale Jr. loses the lead, it'll be because he pits. And yeah, here he comes. Dale Jr. on to pit road. Elliott Sadler to the lead now. So Jeff Gordon either pitted with Dale Jr. Maybe he did pit early this run. Or he's lost that much ground that even Sadler had caught up. So now we'll have to see where are we going to be in comparison to Dale Earnhardt Jr. We'll draft off Casey Kane leaving pit road on the back straightaway. By the time he gets to speed, we're not going to have him caught yet. Jeff Gordon leads now. Sadler pitted that last time by. So Gordon had fallen out of the top 2. Scraping the wall there. I think Dale Jr. was that car up ahead that was leaving pit road. So Dale Jr. has cycled in front of Dave Blaney. Blaney trying to get by Casey Kane. We'll have him cleared into turn 1. Elliott Sadler in the 38 cars down on the bottom of the track trying to get to speed. He's going to be in front of Dave Blaney also. Blaney catches some draft on him on the back straightaway. Jimmy Johnson going to get 5 bonus points. First time today. Middle of the final set of green flag pit stops. And we are back on the lead lap right now if we were to catch a caution, I do believe. Yeah, we are back on the lead lap. There's Gordon. So we've cycled in front of Gordon, but behind Sadler, who's really come up out of nowhere on this run to the finish, and then Dale Jr., who, of course, was leading prior to which. Well, the good news is we're ahead of Jeff Gordon. Got to get by Sadler quickly here. We're under 30 to go. Off the exit of turn 4, looking to the inside. Battle briefly. Sadler going to hold on. Blaney cut him a little slack getting into the corner there. Don't want to make contact, throw the race away with an incident. Jimmy Johnson's on pit road. I think Jeff Green will probably stay out. If he didn't, Truex at least did. Dale Jr. working through lap cars, just coming off of pit road right around him. Blaney underneath Sadler off turn 4 again. Tries to side draft him on the front stretch. Can he make the pass? Or at least stay to the inside of Sadler in 1 and 2, and he does stay to the inside of the 38. All clear for what will eventually be second place once Martin Truex Jr. and whoever else is on track pits. Which actually probably is going to be Jimmy Johnson, who was just on pit road. And we should cycle by him at the line this time. What is the gap between the 8 and the 22 right now? All over the white line through 1 and 2. We're pulling away from Sadler after passing him. Gordon's still a little ways behind. I don't think that's him behind Sadler. I don't know who that is. Might be a lapper that cycled out of the pits recently. Oh, actually, probably Casey Kane, who is a lap down. We are in third. So Dale Jr. is ahead of us, and then Martin Truex Jr., who still has to pit, but is on not only in the lead, but we are on the lead lap. Truex stays out at least another one. Jeff Gordon should easily still lead the most laps in this race today, so he'll get 10 bonus points to that of the 5 for, say, the 8, 22, 48. Still in the championship hunt as well if he can get a top 10 today. Harvick led some laps early, but he blew an engine. Coming in third. Harvick might have been the one to beat, honestly. He was well ahead of Gordon at the time by about 5-6 seconds when he had blown a motor in the first half of the race. Just over 100 laps in. Truex still out there on the track. 23 to go. Blaney on the inside of Busch. We're starting to run out of laps. Dale Jr. is managing this gap pretty well. Blaney with a clean pass on Busch. All clear middle of the back straightaway. Caught past him first corner he had a chance to. I don't really know if I'm closing in on the 8, to be completely honest. We're 13.5 seconds off. Truex is still out on the track. He'll end up probably going a lap down. Maybe he'll be at the tail end of the lead lap once he pits. He's definitely going to lose the lead. Stays out again. No way he can make it on field to the end. He went further than everybody else the last time too, but not that much further. 2 lap cars between the 8 and the 22 on the track. Joe Nemechek is the first. $20 to go for Martin Truex Jr. If there's very few cars on the lead lap, maybe there's a chance Truex catches a caution. He restarts in the top 10 on fresh tires, and he goes for the Charlotte sweep that way. So again, he may fall a lap down. And Truex will be pitting off turn 4 this time. Leads that lap at the line, so it won't be an official lead change until the following time at the start-finish line for Dale Jr., who's got about a 6 to 7/10 of a second advantage over Dave Blaney. We'll have 18 laps to go at the line. Blaney ever so slightly creeping in. Be able to get to him. Passing him is going to be a little bit more difficult. Who's going to get through lap traffic the best the rest of the way also? Dale Jr.'s catching another one. He's pulling the 123. Blaney's railing that car in. Off turn 2, catching the draft down the back straightaway, the car in front of us at least. Got to have the easy pass through 3 and 4 and will. Robbie Gordon stays out of the way of Dale Jr. Earnhardt has him cleared off turn 4. Only gained about a 10th over the last 2 laps. barely, and I mean barely quicker than the 8. Still about 3 to 4 more lap cars. Quite a ways up there still. $16 to go. Don't forget about Elliott Sadler back there behind us. Although we pulled away from him a little bit, he's still in contention for this thing. If the 8 and the 22 really get to battling, because we still have enough laps left. 15 laps left at the line there. Robbie Gordon on the outside of the track, Blaney underneath him. And we'll easily clear him up off turn 2. Well within the draft of Dale Jr. on the back straightaway as Blaney tries to reel him in even more. David Stremme will be the next lap car. No, his teammate actually, Reed Sorensen, 41. Will be the next lapper out in front of the leaders. 14 to go for Dale Earnhardt Jr. And Dave Blaney is within about a car length or so and just ran his fastest lap of the race, 30.063. Saving the best for last. Maybe we can pick him behind the 41 of Sorensen. Up off turn 2, both cars on the outside. We'll see. He's going to mimic our line here. Try to get him tucked in line behind Sorensen. Up off turn 4. Here we go. I don't know if we're going to stay underneath him entering turn 1. It's going to be close. Big dive by Blaney. Got it to stick. Successful pick placement of Sorensen. Has them both clear up turn 2, and Blaney leads with 13 to go. Again, we were lapped down for a large majority of this race. What a comeback to put ourselves in position to maybe win our 5th consecutive race. And all to start the chase. Only 2.5 mile wins this year. Kansas and Vegas. Kansas in the chase just 2 races ago. We led just 7 laps at Charlotte in the 600 earlier this year. We have led more than that today, but not by much. And now trying to hold on to the finish as we've got 11 to go at the line. I don't know if we have the restart gear in it either, so I'm really hoping I have the lead for that case so we can try to block if we were to catch just our 2nd caution of the day late. Earnhardt's got slightly fresher tires. He's not going to be going anywhere. Trying the outside through 3 and 4. Blaney rips the bottom. Got to be careful not to clip the apron. Very easily spin this car out. And that's how we got the early caution that put us a lap down early in the race, was because of that. Right around 60 laps in. Nine to go. Still unsure if these guys are going to catch the top, or I should say next 3 lap cars just up ahead. Earnhardt's pretty consistent trying that outside lane, at least in turns 3 and 4. Maybe trying to get a run up off the exit of the corner. Try to pull alongside of us going into the following turn. It's close enough to the back bumper with Blaney on the older tires. Maybe could get us aero loose, but he hasn't been in the same line as us through the corner since we had taken the lead. Especially on this end of the track we're currently on. Maybe making it a little bit easier for Dave Blaney. 7 to go. Where is Elliott Sadler in third? Is he maybe closing in? Light on fuel, but we're still going to be about 3 laps to the good. We were to have one attempt at a green-white checker finish. We would be right on the edge of maybe running out, but that would be the only way. And 5 laps to go, this time by at the line. Here's Charlotte trying to break the draft down the straightaways. We'll give him the outside. He got close to that right rear corner panel. As long as he isn't on the outside of us on the exit of the corner, then we might be in trouble down the straightaway, but that's all I'm hoping for. I'll give him the outside on entry, and there he goes. He's going to get to the outside on entry. Blaney's going to have to make sure he slides up on the exit of the corner to stay clear on turn 2 exit. Earnhardt looking low into turns 3 and 4. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get it pinned down to the bottom of the track. Just was able to. Right front's in the yellow on their tire wear indicator here. That's where the car starts to really grow tight longer into the run. Do our best to really try to hook this bottom lane of the racetrack. I think the lap car of Joe Nemechek is the next car behind us, so Sadler's probably even further back than that. It's pretty much these two that are racing for the win. Earnhardt on that high side again through 3 and 4. 3 to go at the line. Steele Jr. tries to get just his second win of the season. Blaney again trying to go from 5 in a row. Barely holds clear into turn 1. Maybe this rate, maybe we go undefeated through the chase. Martinsville we should be the favorite for. In the next one. What a way to try to squeak out wins in these last few. Fuel mileage at Dover. Fuel mileage at Dega. Outright just stole one for the speed side of things at Kansas out of nowhere. And here we are trying to steal one coming from a lap down today at Charlotte. Lap and a half to go if we get to the white flag. Next flag will be the checker. There's no cautions. Blaney just going to play defense on the bottom here. Giving the outside to Earnhardt, who has tried to make that outside work through 3 and 4. In particular, the last several laps, but just can't get it to happen. Final lap of the race now. Blaney up to block the 8. Gets it to turn on entry. Down to the bottom. Now he runs the bottom, trying to get us a little aero loose. Car wiggled around a little bit through the center of 1 and 2. That was the first time he tried to do that this entire run. We'll see if he tries it again in 3 and 4. Kind of hanging on the right rear corner panel. He's going wide. He's not going to have it. Off turn 4. Checkered flag waves, and Dave Blaney's going to steal one at Charlotte. Let's go. 5 in a row. Are you not entertained? From a lap down to a win. Our wins at this rate consistently just keep getting more and more astronomical by way of difficulty. I'd probably say over the last 4 races now that has been the case. We just keep getting more and more difficult, but we still find a way to get the job done. We're like the Kansas City Chiefs this season. Make it hard on ourselves, but we still get the job done at the end of the day. Unbelievable. Now we could go for 6 in a row at Martinsville, which I definitely think is possible. But we should be the favorite tomorrow afternoon to win that race. And have a very good chance of getting that laps led record along the way. Take a look at our finishing results. We led only 22 laps today. We led a lot of them there down the home stretch. So that, again, goes to show we didn't have the fastest car throughout. But when the time was right, we were able to get it done. 5 in a row. 2 hours, 57 minutes, and 19 seconds. That's a fast 500-mile race today, ladies and gentlemen. That's because we only had one caution. It was back around lap 60, about 62, I think it was. 28 lead changes in this one. 10th of a second margin of victory. 169.51 mile per hour average race speed. And, yeah, Dave Blaney, 22 laps led, gets the win. In the number 22, started 19th. We were 15th place car at the end of that first run, but boy, oh boy, made it difficult on ourselves. Had that early spin, went a lap down as a result of it. Had to make adjustments on the car to try to get it quicker. We were able to do so, and not only that, we were able to actually make up enough time on pit strategy. We didn't outright, like, unlap ourselves the old-fashioned way, but we made the race on one less stop than everybody else, just because we were able to stretch the fuel run longer. And you got to go back that first run, not pitting under that caution, pitting on the other side of it 5 laps after the restart. That was really the difference in us actually making this race on one less stop. Granted, we wouldn't have been in that scenario also if we had not spun. So in the end, the spin, because the race went caution-free the rest of the way, the spin ultimately didn't matter. Didn't help or hurt us. At the time, it was looking like it hurt us. We would have had one more yellow at any point in time the rest of that race while we were lapped down for a large majority of it. It definitely would have hurt us, but we just didn't have it. 30 laps led for Dale Jr. He finishes third. Sadler led a lap during green flag stops that final time through. Finishes third. Actually, Dale Jr. was second. 136 laps led for Jeff Gordon. Led the most from the pole, but does not get the win. Is that Kurt Busch then in fifth? Yeah, Kurt Busch in fifth place. He led 57 laps today. None for Labonte. Bobby Labonte sixth. Tony Raines, underdog, top 10 at 7. Jeff Green in 8th. Jimmy Johnson, 9th. Quiet day, led 3 laps, got 5 bonus points. And Martin Truex Jr. led 13 laps and got a top 10. How about that? Charlotte being probably the best track of the year for Truex. A win in the 600, 10th today, led some laps. Was leading in the final 20 there on the pit strategy he was on. And still was able to get a top 10 finish out of it. Chasers did not finish in the top 10 today. Tony Stewart, 19th, a lap down. Just did not have it here this afternoon. Dale Jarrett, 23rd. He has now finished outside the top 10 in each of the first 5 chase races and only one top 15 in the 5 chase races so far. And yes, he is a chase driver. And the other 3, DNF today. Greg Biffle, 39th. Kevin Harvick, 42nd. Ryan Newman last at 43rd. Harvick led 64 laps. And honestly, I think he would have probably won this race had he had not blown an engine, considering the rest of the race stayed green. His car could have fallen off further along the way, but he had a 6-second gap over Gordon at the time of his departure from this event. So, man. Mark DeMars, thanks for tuning in. Been here for the final 120 laps or so. Just never spoke up. Yeah, I mean, it was... You didn't miss anything in the sense that it was a good win. It's a good, hard-fought win. So, of course, the DNFs then that we had total, again, Newman, Harvick, Jeff Burton, Matt Kenseth, Greg Biffle, of course, we saw David Stremme and Reed Sorensen did finish the race, just many laps down. So in a 500-mile race, we only actually had 5 DNFs, which is a lot less than we usually have on these intermediate tracks, and especially the 500-mile intermediate track races. All right. Gordon gets another top 5, so we don't extend the points lead much, especially with Gordon leading the most laps today. This is the first race, although we won 5 in a row, that we did not lead the most laps in. Again, only 22 laps led. We should be the favorite at Martinsville. We should be the favorite at Phoenix. It's about surviving the other 3.5-mile tracks at Atlanta, Texas, and Homestead, on top of getting max point stays at Martinsville and Phoenix for us to win this title. Jeff Gordon's going to probably continue to keep the pressure on us if he keeps doing what he did today. He was second at Dega yesterday. And here today, he was 4th, but led the most laps. 134-point advantage over Gordon. What was it coming in? 119, so we only gained 15 points further ahead on Gordon. Harvick blowing an engine, falls to 5th in points, 303 back now, and it's really a 4-horse race for the championship, primarily 2 between the 24 and the 22, but then Earnhardt and Johnson, you can't count them out of it, especially if I don't have a great run at Texas or Atlanta, Homestead. We only led 2 laps at Atlanta earlier this year. I didn't lead any at Texas. Texas, I finished 11th. I think we did steal the win, potentially, at Atlanta. Yeah, we did, but it was only a 50% race, so the first Atlanta event. So as far as 100% mile and a half or intermediate tracks, the only wins would have been tonight at Charlotte, Kansas in the last one, and Vegas very early in the year as well. Unbelievable, though. Maybe we go 10 for 10 in the chase. We're already only one more win away from breaking the record for the most wins in a single playoff. Kyle Larson in 2021 had 5, and Tony Stewart had 5 of them in 2011. So we're one away from the record just through the first 5 already. Yeah, it'll be fun. Martinsville tomorrow, just survived 500 laps. We should be the favorite for the win there. We'll log them in. Noon Eastern time tomorrow. We will go live for that stream. Be sure to hit the like button on this one if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Have a good rest of your Friday night, everybody. And we'll go for 6 for 6 to start the chase tomorrow at the Paperclip.